5.
The prospect of an unequal peace in Ukraine may ease the conflict in the short term, but it risks further emboldening Vladimir Putin. History has proven time and again that once Putin has rebuilt his military power, he strikes again, as in Georgia, Crimea, and Ukraine. Now all eyes are on Poland, one of the countries most vulnerable to Moscow's next move. The Baltic states and Poland face a growing threat, especially from Moscow-controlled Belarus. Years of Western neglect allowed Belarusian dictator Lukashenko to survive pro-democracy uprisings and turn his country into a launching pad for Russian aggression. Today, Poland has perhaps one of the most unprotected geographies in the world and is stepping up its war preparations against the threats that surround it. Poland, which has been named as one of the potential epicenters of the Third World War, is not taking any chances and is not taking any risks. On its way to becoming one of the most powerful countries in Europe, Warsaw is emerging as the military power of the Baltics and is rapidly expanding its defences. Warsaw's latest and most remarkable move was its decision to withdraw from the Ottawa Treaty and lay mines on the border with Belarus. Is this a clear message to Russia? Or is Poland really preparing for war? We will analyse in detail the risky but decisive steps of Poland, Europe's new defence shield. But before that, please do not forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications, and like to be informed about our content. Poland has announced that it will withdraw from the Ottawa Agreement with Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. All 4 countries border Russia. Poland, Lithuania, and Latvia also border Moscow's ally Belarus. In a joint statement, North Atlantic Treaty Organization defense ministers said that military threats to North Atlantic Treaty Organization member states bordering Russia and Belarus have increased significantly. The ministers said that with this decision they sent a clear message. According to the message, the countries are prepared and can use all necessary measures to defend their security needs. The Ottawa Treaty is an international agreement signed in 1997 and ratified or acceded to by more than 160 countries. If they withdraw from the treaty, Warsaw and the Baltic states could start stockpiling and using landmines for the first time in nearly 30 years. The withdrawal will take effect after 6 months. Poland decided to turn North Atlantic Treaty Organization's eastern border with Russia into a minefield by withdrawing from the Ottawa Convention, banning anti-personnel landmines because of the threat of Russian aggression. This decision had a specific purpose. Warsaw was preparing for World War III, aiming to distribute survival guides by the end of the year, and was building the Eastern Shield, which Polish members of Parliament described as the largest operation to strengthen North Atlantic Treaty Organization's eastern flank since 1945. The demining of the border lines with landmines will probably complete the Eastern Shield mission for Poland. Poland's mine action against Russia has caused a stir on the world agenda. European leaders and officials have given important assessments of Poland's bold decision. Member of the European Parliament Riho Terras said that the decision of Poland and the Baltic states to withdraw from the Ottawa Anti-Personnel Mine Treaty was probably a step in the right direction. Riho Terras also said that Europe must do its utmost to protect its eastern border. Stephen Webb, the United Kingdom's head of government reform and home affairs, congratulated Poland and the Baltic states on their decision to withdraw from the Ottawa Treaty on landmines. Stephen Webb said that given the urgent need for landmines in Ukraine, the United Kingdom's continued membership made no sense. On the other hand, Finland, the last European Union state to sign the Ottawa Treaty in 2012, has expressed its intention to withdraw, citing Russia's use of such weapons in Ukraine. Finland shares 1,340 kilometres of border with Russia. Finnish Defence Minister Antti Häkkänen said that we have closely examined through intelligence how Russia is operating in Ukraine, especially the use of infantry and mines. The infantry issue is evidence that the use of anti-personnel mines needs to be examined. Jukka Kopra, chairman of the Defence Committee of the Finnish Parliament, said that the decision of Poland and the Baltic states was good and wise. As we can understand, with its landmines move, Poland not only won the admiration and inspiration of Europe, but also strengthened North Atlantic Treaty Organization's long-awaited defense shield. As you may recall, it has been reported that the construction of the first elements of Poland's Eastern Shield defense program will begin near the borders with Belarus, Kaliningrad, and the Suwalki Pass. This critical news was announced by Poland's Deputy Minister of National Defense, Cezary Tomczyk. At that time, of course, landmines were not included in this defense shield. The Ottawa Treaty was still in force. Cezary Tomczyk stated that the Eastern Shield system would cover Pomerania, Warmia Mazuria, Lublin, Podlasie, and Podkarpacie voivodeships. The cost of this massive program would be more than $2.5 billion. The construction of the first elements of the Eastern Shield was to begin on Poland's northern and eastern borders. The ministry representative noted that Poland had managed to attract partners for the construction. Thanks to Prime Minister Tusk, the security issue was included in the conclusions of the European Council. It is expected that the project will be strengthened with the participation of British partners, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. The number of people interested in the project seems to have increased after landmines were added to the borderlines. Prime Minister Tusk said that the project, which is scheduled for completion in 2028, aims to make Poland's eastern and northern borders not only the best fortified in Europe, but also the most modern in Europe. The defence line, which was initiated by the Warsaw government's decisive policies, sends a direct message of intimidation to Russia and Belarus. The Belarusian side is very concerned about this defence line and landmines, but Poland's moves are not limited to these. Nearly 40,000 additional experienced military personnel are waiting on the Belarusian border lines. In addition, Polish main battle tanks, armoured infantry vehicles, military trucks, and a large number of soldiers have been deployed to command centres and military bases near the Belarusian border lines. 14 main battle tanks and an M88 armoured recovery vehicle are on alert at the North Atlantic Treaty Organization funded Army Ready Stock Storage Facility in Powidz, about 250 miles west of Poland's border with Ukraine. The Polish Army's air defences have also been increased in areas close to these border lines. Currently, 2 pairs of Polish Air Force F-16 fighter jets and an Allied air tanker are on alert along the country's eastern border. In addition to all these measures, Poland, which has one of the best armies in Europe, is going on a spending spree. The Eastern European country has pledged to spend a record 4.7% of its gross domestic product on the military in 2025. This is more proportionate than the United States, which spends about 2.9% of its gross domestic product on defence. Poland's 2025 target is $48.7 billion in defence spending. That is more than the $41.5 billion in the 2024 budget.